Yeah, I would never take somebody's swimming medal like that. And I definitely wouldn't judge them based on such little evidence. I have to be there and see it myself. Like when my mother gave me a full bottle of Epicac, do you think she just told me? Do you think I'm saying this because my mother just told me she gave me extra Epicac? No. Yes, she told family, friends, me, everybody how she punished me with extra medications, what was Epicac. But that's not why I mentioned it for the last 25 years to doctors and people alike who asked me if there was anything wrong with me. The reason why I mention it is I've had stomach and esophagus issues for a long time now, and on top of this, I watched my mother pour the liquid out into the bottle. She ran the sink to cover up what she was saying. She never put the cup in the sink. There was no liquid in the cup. I was in the bathroom. She started the sink up and she started filling the Epicac bottle. The cup never made it to the sink. The cup was just at the Epicac. I watched her pour it, almost a full bottle, 7 ounces of Epicac. And then she told me what she did. She says, "You're going to drink all this. I put extra in there. I almost used the whole bottle, and it's a punishment." And then she forced me to drink a full bottle of Epicac. And then on top of this, or almost a full bottle of Epicac, then she bragged about it, telling everybody how I punished my child with a full bottle of Epicac. Oh, yeah? You use a bar of soap? Oh, yeah? You use hot sauce? Well, I use a full bottle of Epicac, yeah. Yeah, you think it's bad that you got hot sauce as a punishment? You think you got bad with soap? I got full bottles of Epicac. And that's my problem with it. I saw it come out of the bottle. I was there when the sink got started. I was there when the cup got pulled out. I was there when the bottle got poured. There was no water in that cup. And not only that, my mother bragged about it over and over and over. And if you're thinking, well, Zach, that sounds a little fucked up. Yes, it's really fucked up. My mother did a lot of crazy things. Some people even think I'm crazy when I tell them what my mother was doing. They're like, "Oh, wow, that's some crazy shit." Yeah, I know, my mother was a crazy woman, giving her child Epicac, giving her child overdoses, then calling it an allergy attack, moving him to Texas, then moving him to New Mexico, trying to homeschool him, drugging him to shit, making up stories about him, taking his medals away. So when you put all this together, I was there to see the bottle. I was there to feel the pain. I had my head in the toilet. I was trying to finish it. I couldn't even finish it. I was there. My mother said it for year after year after year. Not only that, when somebody asked me why I'm upset at my mother, I said it's because she does crazy stuff to me. They asked again, "What do you mean by crazy stuff?" I said, "Well, just think of the Epicac." And they say, "What do you mean Epicac?" I say, "She gave me a full bottle of Epicac as a punishment. Extra Epicac as a punishment." And they said, "Is this true?" And then I turned to my mother and said, "Let me guess, you're going to lie through your teeth again and say that this is all some fantasy, right?" And of course, because I said that, my mother said, "No." And now she doesn't want to lie because I said she was going to lie. If you tell somebody they're going to lie, they usually will tell the truth. It's a trick I learned. When somebody you know is about to lie as a response, say, "Let me guess, you're going to lie through your teeth now and say this." And if you do that, at least 50% of the time, like 50% of the time, it will get them to tell the truth. I had to do a lot of this with my mother. She was constantly lying. So anyways, I said that. I said, "Let me guess, you're going to lie now and say it's a fantasy or something, right?" And then my mother goes, "No, I did give you extra Epicac. So what if I gave you extra medicine as a punishment? So what?" And then I say, "So what? Does anybody think it's wrong to give kids extra medication? Extra medication, lots of extra. We're talking about more than any child should ever get. We're talking about extra that might cause permanent damage to a child's body. It's very clear on the label not to give extra medications to your child. But my mother thinks this is okay. She says, "So what? I gave my child extra medicine as punishment. So what?" So I asked everybody in the room. You got my father, my sister, who's in her 50s. You got her husband. You got you got me and my mother. You know what I say? I ask, does anybody see anything wrong with this picture? Does anybody think it's wrong to give a child extra medication? Does anybody see anything wrong with this? And then my sister goes, well, yeah, of course. Then her husband goes, oh, yeah. My mother goes, no. And then then her husband, my father, goes, no, there's nothing wrong with that. And me, my sister, and her brother, so I'm age like 16. My sister is in her maybe 40s or 50s. We got my mother in her 60s, no, not quite, maybe 59, 58. And my father is like 10 years older than my mother or something like that. So we got all those dates real quick spun out. I would give you real dates, but I'm just shooting this out quickly. Don't have a lot of time on the clock, so I got to talk quick. I wish I didn't have to talk this quick, but I have to. I only have 8 minutes total. So, anyways, what do you think everybody's reaction to my mother and father saying no to that is? We all went, what? Huh? And then my father goes, wait a minute. What? What did I miss? My father didn't understand the question. He was just blindly agreeing with my mother once again. So, this is where I go. You got to pay attention. You got to use your own brain. You can't blindly follow somebody and do damage to another human being. If you want to blindly believe in somebody, blindly believe in your son. Your wife is dead, so you'll blindly believe in somebody who's drinking and popping your son's pills. But your son, who got you off the hook for $12,000 and supported you, your son, who supported your third marriage when nobody else would, your son, who did a lot for you, taking the abuse so your own grandson didn't have to be crippled. Your own son, who went to Texas and got put into Mexico and had a black guy choke him out. Yes, you're responsible for that. He forgave you for that. Your own son forgave you for having a black man choke him out. You had your own son get naked in front of strangers at the age of 12 and have them do butt checks for cigarettes because your son played with one match and some slug slime. But did your son forgive you? Once again, he forgave his father for having strangers strip him down and check his bum hole for cigarettes. Also, in that same place, I was held down and given a double dose in the same hours of medication. Now, that's happened twice in my life. Once on my mother's and father's word, and once on an orphanage's word. But you think that's on my file? I bet they put it down as I cheat them or some shit. How much you want to bet? How much you want to bet? Even though I've never cheated a med in my life. I've never. I've refused to take them. Yes, I've literally told them, no, I'm not going to take them, and refused before. And I think there was one time where I wanted a Ritalin when I was like age 12 or something. But that's it. That wasn't a thing for me. If I wanted pills, I had all the pills I needed. I didn't need to take anything. Why would I need to take anything? I got Seroquel, Trazodone, I got Thorazine, I got Lamictal, I got Risperidone, I got Xanax, I got Zyprexa, I got Ritalin and Adderall and Wellbutrin. I got all the controlled substances. Why the hell would I want to take any pills? And if I wanted to sell them or something, well, my mother has a whole stack of my pills in her room. She got my Vicodin, she got my Xanax. All I have to do is take a couple before she swallows all of them. So you got all this going on. So what am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to be respectful. I'm supposed to call my father, tell him to clean up his mess, and just say, hey, there's a problem here. It's part of you, part of my mother, and you need to handle it. Did I do that? Yes. Did I try to pass on the message? Yes. Have I been working on this for 25 years with him? Yes. Did other people tell him about this? Yes. Did his own grandson tell him about this? Yes. Did his own son tell him about this? Yes. Did he know that his own wife's son said that there was a problem with her? Yes. Did your own adopted son say there was a problem with her? Yes. Did your own daughter say there was a problem? Yes. So we've been all speaking up for 25 years about his second wife. As soon as his second wife died from drugs and alcohol, popping my pills and drinking too much, he decided it was all over now. I'll run into a sunset, remarry, throw my son into a big den of wolves. I won't set him up with any future. No apartment, no trailer, no future. I'll keep him on the hook. Every time my son asked, hey, where am I moving? What am I doing? I don't know. Just don't worry. I don't know. Yeah, because you're going to throw me ass to the shelter and have the wolves eat me alive. Meanwhile, I have seizures. Yeah, I know, because you did it. 4 years. Meanwhile, your wives bring in illegal drugs like Percocet and Vicodin. that have the name of somebody who doesn't exist. And just for the record, they were his wife's previous husband that passed away's medication. So they were a no longer alive person. So the person that those medications belong to is now in the ground, and somebody else is traveling across borders with them. They moved illegal Percocet and Xanax from Pennsylvania straight into my father's and my house without asking for permission. I mean, goddamn, what if I was calling the police to have them check my mother's stuff? How about if I wanted how about if I was able to figure this all out at 18, and then I wanted an investigation to be done after my mother passed away, and they found a bunch of medications on my mother's. Oops, but they found his new wife's medications too. Oh boy, all of us would be in trouble. So yes, I did something terribly wrong. I stole illegal medication. Oh, I'm terrible. I would never do that again. I did learn my lesson. How did I learn my lesson? By talking to other people, by having my medication stolen repeatedly. By the way, I've had at least 300 pills stolen from me in my lifetime. A lot of it from my own mother. Yes, my mother was stealing Xanax and my Percocet. So I've had lots of medicine stolen from me. And I know how it feels. It's not right to be sick and having twitches and seizures and problems because somebody else wanted to get high. That's not right. Nope. So I don't take anybody's medicine ever. Never, never, never. It's against my rules. I have a hierarchy of rules now. I've doubled down 3 times into Jesus. So right now, my rule system pretty much is to follow Jesus in a straight line, have lots of forgiveness, try to use a lot of well-minded ideas, and try to help anybody in need that comes my way. Go to every doctor that can help me, try to work hard, try to get Social Security, work with my family, work with my father, try to clean up this mess. That's what I'm trying to do. But my father's fighting it. Of course, the state doesn't want to pay me any money. Of course, you think his new wife wants to go off vacation time? No. I think my sister would want to handle this. I don't think she wants to go to a funeral because her dad killed an orphan. I think my brother is on my side, but I think he's so fed up with it, he may take a bribe or just decide, I don't care, or Dad, if you give me money, I'll just back you, or maybe he just doesn't want anything to do with it. I have no idea, but he doesn't seem to be the one that really try to help out right now. He could be speaking with him right now, but there's no clue to tell how. Oh, that's my clock out. I'm screwed now. This won't save. Okay. So, yeah, I got a lot of going on. I got kidney failure, GI, 25 years of a neurological disorder, lots of abuse that was never handled, false medical files. My father took out a false Social Security where half of it is fake. I need my real Social Security, but they don't know how to make heads or tails. My doctors aren't that good because my insurance isn't that good. My father and mother gave them false information. And I'm trying to do this the nice way, the right way. I'm trying to do this the Jesus way. I'm trying to treat others how I would want to be treated. But I do not believe my father is treating me how he wants to be treated. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to keep on being a Jesus follower. I'm going to follow Jesus in a straight line. But I do know when I'm off the grid, having multiple seizures and head injuries, I'm dying, I'm not able to move. I don't know how well I'm going to take that knowing other people are responsible for it. I mean, anybody else will be in a shelter. Anybody else will be on Social Security. Anybody else will be at work. But thanks to my mother and father, none of those are options. They took all that from me. They took it all. Not only that, they profited, yes. $9.80 a month. Meanwhile, I wore rags and people made fun of me. And I had to eat green bean can, Chef Boyardee can. Meanwhile, all the other kids got to go out, have McDonald's, go clothing shopping. Meanwhile, I got punished every month because my father wanted to keep my clothing money with him. Yes, my father said, oh, no, we need to keep my clothing money with me. No, it can't go to Zach in the program to go clothing shopping. No, I think I should handle it. So you can see how these things build up. You can see that. But do I ever yell at my father and say, where were you when I was fucking eating green beans, getting punished because you wanted to hold on to my check? Where were you when I was OD'd at your feet, needing an ambulance, not able to see out of my eyeballs? And if you call it a fantasy, I'll break your nose right now. Do I ever do that? No. I'm always taking their abuse and just taking it. I tell them something really close to my heart that they know is true, and then they say, it's a fantasy, it's a lie, I don't want to deal with that, I'm going to run on a vacation. No, 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 no. So we're going to stop there. So I'm going to keep trying, but eventually I'm going to run out of patience after 25 years of seizures, head injuries, scars, back injuries. I mean, I'll never, ever be a normal person now, thanks to my father and mother. Thank God, though, I've been years and years of sober. I've had one relapse since I've been in New Hampshire, and that was when I needed surgery and was having all my teeth removed, had multiple infections, and I was on my third, fourth round of antibiotics. That's not an excuse, but it got me through. And if I really got in that situation again, I would probably do the same thing, because there's no other way to work it. There's no other way to have a seizure on the side of the road, have multiple infections, hold the job during COVID, and pay your rent. Meanwhile, nobody is helping you thanks to your mother and father. Everybody else got $600 every 2 weeks. I couldn't get that because my mother and father did not properly describe my disabilities. So they don't know how to make heads or tails of anything I come with them with. Plus, my mother and father continue to go, he's a liar, he's a fantasy teller. He didn't win that swimming medal. It's a fantasy. It's a lie. No, 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 no. Oh, no, no, no. Oh, yeah. No, my mother didn't take those pills. It's a lie. It's a fantasy. No, no, no. Meanwhile, every time I fucking get it out there, it's very obvious that they're just children with the checks. My father and mother keep on acting like children, and I have to be in the woods suffering like an adult. Literally. Just seizing, trying to live in the woods. I would love to live in an apartment or a shelter or anywhere, but thanks to these disabilities not being documented, thanks to my Social Security not being able to be on, thanks to the ability not to drive, yeah, that's not going to happen. And why can't I drive? Well, because my mother made me disabled. Why can't I collect Social Security? Because my mother made me disabled, lied about my disabilities, tried to claim that I was disabled in different ways than the way she actually made me disabled, and then my father just went along with anything for money, and then also lied about the Social Security at the end, crashing everything, so the skills I was supposed to be getting, I didn't get, and the program I was living in didn't get their rent, and he crashed a complete case. He also bailed out on the attorney and bailed out on the deal he made with Social Security with me. So that's the answer there. So yeah, this is something that really is on my father's side of responsibility. It's not like I can do anything to make my father clean up his mess. It's not like I can clean up his mess. It's not like I can go down there and admit for him what was going on. I was only 7. I was only 8. I was only 9. Now I'm 31, and I am almost dead, and I know there's plenty of help out there for me. I mean, it's only because I'm getting treated like an animal is the only reason why. There's epilepsy medication for me. There's plenty of stomach medications. There's lots of help out there. But as long as my parents continue, well, my mother died, but as long as my father continues to call it a fantasy and a lie and all that, they're going to continue just giving me drugs whenever I ask. Oh, yeah, I can get Percocet. I can get Xanax and Ritalin and Thorazine, all I want. But I can't get epilepsy medication that I actually need. Why? Once again, father and mother.